A very good morning to all of you. The first poem in second semester that we have is Caged Bird, written by Maya Angelou. Before we move on, let us know a little bit about the poet of the Caged Bird. Maya Angelou was born on April 4, 1928 in America. At a very young age, her parents got divorced, and as a result, she had to move in with her grandparents, where she experienced great discrimination, not only for being an African American, but also for being a woman. At the age of 7, as a result of an assault, she did not speak for 5 years. It was the effort of her teacher, Bertha Flower, that Maya Angelou started writing poetry that helped her overcome her trauma. Thus, poetry played an important part in the recovery of her voice. Maya Angelou is a celebrated poet, novelist, dramatist, actress, and a civil rights activist. Her important works include a series of autobiographies with her book, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, Gathered Together in My Name, Singing and Swinging. Why Don't You Sing? I Shall Not Be Moved. She not only wrote poems but also wrote books for elderly ones. In this particular poem, she compares two birds, one that flies in the sky as a free bird and one that is captivated in the cage as a caged bird. Let us read the poem and find what Maya Angelou wishes to express. Let us first read the poem Caged Bird. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends, and dips his wings in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful thrill of things unknown but long still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft through the sighing trees, and fat worms waiting on the dawn bright lawn, and he names the sky as his own. But a caged bird stands on the grave of his dreams, his shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful thrill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. Let us now take the explanation of the poem stanza-wise. The free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends, and dips his wings in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. In the very first paragraph of the poem, the poet begins with the description of a free bird. He refers to the flight of the free bird who springs from the ground to fly in the direction of the air current. It looks as if the bird had immersed his wings in the orange rays of the sun covering the sky. The free bird flies in the sky as if the sky belonged to him. In the next paragraph, the poet says, "But a bird that stalks down the narrow cage can seldom see through the bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing." The caged bird sings with a fearful thrill of the things unknown and longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. In the next stanza, the poet explains the condition of the caged bird who tries to watch the world constantly from his cage. He can barely see through the bars as they are placed very near to each other, and thus his vision is limited. He is enslaved as his wings are cut, they are clipped, and his feet are tied. Under such circumstances, the only option that the caged bird has is to open his throat to sing. The caged bird trembles while singing of things unknown to him. He realizes his condition but still longs for freedom. And the bird sings so loudly that the poet reveals that the bird's cry for freedom can be heard at faraway places. In the next paragraph, the poet says, "The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade wind soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worm waiting on a dawn bright lawn, and he names the sky as his own." In the next stanza, the poet describes about the things that the free bird enjoys. He brings us back to the unrestricted movement of the free bird that thinks of another breeze. The poet mentions about the fat worms that are waiting on the lawn at sunrise to be had by this free bird. It appears as if the bird, the free bird, has named the sky as his own. In the next stanza, the poet comes again back to the caged bird and says, "But the caged bird stands on the grave of dreams. His shadow shouts on the nightmare screams. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing." The caged bird sings with a fearful thrill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. In the fifth stanza, the poet describes the feelings and the condition of the caged bird. The cage that has now become the grave of the bird's dreams. The poet describes the bird's cries as that of someone having a nightmare. Once again, the caged bird sings loudly for its freedom, as its wings are clipped and its feet are tied, and it is bound within the cage. The final stanza of the poem is the repetition of third stanza, which emphasizes the distressing condition of the caged bird, where it sings loudly to know about the things that are unknown to it and shouts for the freedom that it wishes to enjoy like the free bird. Through the poem Caged Bird, Maya Angelou has depicted and compared a free bird with a caged bird. She has tried to highlight the feelings of both of them, one who enjoys the freedom and claims the sky to be its own, whereas the other one who is bound within the cage and is restricted and has nothing else except to raise its voice. I hope you all have understood the poem well. Thank you and have a nice day.